What's up, YouTube? Just coming at y'all with another mower video today, and just trying to show y'all or share with you guys a new addition to the fleet. And so it was a welcome, very much welcomed, I guess, welcomed addition to the fleet. And so you might be wondering, why am I showing the LT1000? Because it's the one I've always had. Because the mower I got is very much similar to this. Matter of fact, it's a Craftsman also, and so I don't know how many other in between this one and that one, but they're very much alike. And so, but they have one major similarity that I'll discuss here in a minute, and but that is why it's on here. Why I've started this video on the LT1000. So let's go over here and show you guys what I'm talking about. So I guess this is what you would call the Craftsman LTS2000, and has an overhead valve, 20 horsepower Briggs & Stratton, and it was actually given to me by a gentleman I go to church with, and it was given to me. The guy's complaint was that it was not holding a charge. However, that might have been the case, but what I found out was that when you don't keep your battery cable ends tight, it's really hard to have a connection there, and that's how your battery gets charged. So also what I did in the meantime, also because when I went to jump this mower, the battery that was in it was not holding a charge. So that's a new battery. I bought new bolts. Yeah, new battery, new bolts, and but even though with the new bolts and the new battery and everything tightened down and it worked great and wonderful back here, it was still doing the same thing. And what I'm talking about is when I would turn the key, you could hear the starter solenoid click, but it wasn't doing anything else. And so what I did end up doing was I took the jumper cables, because I was jumping it at that point, and hooked the negative end to the chassis and touched the positive end over to the starter bolt there, and started it up, kicked it right over. And so that told me the starter was good and I had a good battery. And so that only left two other things. That was the key switch or the starter solenoid. And so I went after the starter solenoid next, which is pretty neat on this, because over there on the LT1000 it's actually buried down deep, but it's up here pretty close. And so I actually took out the factory 4-pole solenoid, and I did a video when I rewired that, and I showed y'all and spoke to y'all a little bit about the wiring. And so but what I did do is, because this is a 4-pole solenoid, and one of the things I hate about those, a 3-pole solenoid, the bracket itself, this right here, this part right there, actually is the ground. On a 4-pole solenoid it's not. It's this one right here where you see this black wire going. That's the ground. And so and that goes off in the factory wiring or wherever it goes. And so if you don't have a good connection, you know, you're going to have issues. And so I did what I call a double ground. So you can see, I mean, this is the factory, the black wire here, but I made my own, and I just screwed it into the body there, and so I've got a double ground there. And now that I've done that, it's fixed it. So one electrical issue that I'm going to have to address is this headlight plug right here, if I want headlights. Other than that, I mean, as you can see, I've figured out the electrical issue, and so there is no issue on that. So one other issue with this is that this mower was kept outside. I don't know if you can tell by all the green moss and everything on it. And it was stored outside, and the top of that deck, the guy would cut grass and it would just collect stuff on top of it, and so it's been sitting out there and getting rained on and stuff, and that grass holds water on the top there, and it's rusty. Also, that side over there on the deck, the blade is bent, and so I got to take the deck out. Long story short, I got to take the deck out, clean it up, repaint it, and put new blades under it and put it back. So the only other thing I've done to it since I got it, because it was in bad need of an oil change, so I changed the oil. Y'all can see right here, SuperTech ST3614, which I spoke about that in a video I did called Budget Oil Change. And pretty much everything else on this mower is pretty much like the LT1000, with a couple of exceptions. Got holes here if I want to put a canopy that goes up over the seat. Also has a cup holder here that the LT1000 does not have. Now also, the biggest change with this is hydrostatic transmission, or what they call automatic transmission. So that pedal over there, all it does is it's a brake. But you just go forward, you shove it down, go forward, or you want to go reverse, you pull it back and go reverse. And so so that's how that works. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, but it's a nice mower. It's a little bit of a step up, especially for my wife, who was the deciding factor in why I wasn't selling it. And so, but I told y'all that this had something in common with my LT1000, and so y'all can see, if you remember, and I'll show you again. Craftsman, or I'm sorry, Briggs & Stratton, 540cc, 20 gross horsepower. 20 gross horsepower. And so if y'all remember, I did a video on this, and I said it's on engine number 5, and I swapped that engine into it, and that engine and that engine are exactly alike. Now you might be asking, what am I talking about? Well, if you go back and watch the videos, I said when I put this engine in here, this metal engine cover and that over there is from the other engine that I took out. So this is not original to this engine. This is original to that engine. So as you can tell, 540cc, just like that one. I just don't understand why this one's a 21 horsepower and that one's a 20. But other than that, as you can see, that's the original engine cover, and it looks just like that engine cover. And so had no issues, no problems with this motor, so hopefully it's the same thing with that one. One thing I did notice about this one is that I don't like, y'all can go back and watch my videos, and I'm going to have to do some changes on, do some work on it, is it does have the Nicky carburetor. and so don't like those carburetors. However, you did notice that it starts up, it runs fine. I know in the beginning they're kind of idled rough, but really after a few minutes it smooths out. So there's nothing wrong with the carburetor at this time. So I'm going to be doing something preventative. Now that could be one of two things. I could swap the carburetor out and put in a Walbro, which is what I have on this. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, which you can see here, and I tell you guys that they don't put them on in the factory, fuel shutoff valve, and so it also needs a new fuel filter. So I'm going to buy a new fuel filter and a fuel shutoff valve and put that on there, and and that will help me prevent any problems with that carburetor, any problems with that with the ethanol gasoline gumming it up and creating any issues. And so yeah, hopefully with that little addition, I shouldn't have any issues with this mower, especially after I get the deck all straightened out and new blades under it and everything, and break out the power washer and hose it down really good. But other than that, guys, I just want to make this video because it just seems to be the next best thing since the old LT1000 here. So you guys have any comments, questions, whatever, please put them down below, and I look forward to your comments. Just do a little pan around here. And there you go, guys. Y'all take care. See you in the next one.